There we go. There we go. Officially live. Alright. So let's see what we got for notifications. See if anybody sent me some good articles here last night. Thanks a lot for of course. Let's see. John McAfee tagged me. Oh wait, that's not John McAfee. That's a fake-afee. Fake-afee! Okay. Did you tag me in something, XRP Crow? Ooh. Ooh, what is this? Whoa, somebody updated the XRP community. This is awesome. I absolutely love this. All the Twitter people on here. That's so cool. How's everybody doing out there today? We got 12 people chilling in the chat so far. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having a good day so far. It's a pretty awesome chart here, right? See if you're on here. Is anybody else out here see their icon in the Twitter? We got any fellow YouTubers out here? I see that somebody put me on there. I feel honored. Who made this? It was made by Stedas? Dario Stedas. So I'm assuming you, bro? It's cool stuff. How's it going, Roger? Good morning, boss. Thanks for tuning in. How's it going, Amos? So yeah, I think we already went over the Pastor Payments Task Force yesterday, so that's old news. I do have some news today that I found interesting, actually. I think people are going to find interesting, too, because I didn't know that this occurred, and I don't know that I saw anybody connect these strings, so I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. How's it going, Masige? Masige? Is that how it'd be pronounced? Masige? Masige. Is that it? Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably butchering it now. I'm trying to put too much emphasis on the sounds. How's it going, Charlie G? So, yeah, this article comes from May 14th, 2018. So it's old, right? But this comes from Mitsubishi Corporation, who, you know, is like, I believe they're technically the parent company of MUFG. But Mitsubishi Corporation, MUFG, Kongsri, and Standard Charter all last year on May 14th announced that they were going to be jointly, they announced today on the May 14th, 2018, that today jointly announced they would commence or begin the commencement of a pilot test for moving real funds over RippleNet, with the objective of making cross-border payments more convenient and further improve the capacity efficiency of the corporate groups, right? So cool stuff. This test was carried out between Thailand and Singapore under the Bank of Thailand Regulatory Sandbox Framework, and it was the first time for a Japanese company to conduct cross-border payments with RippleNet. How's it going, Gachop Potatoes? What tool to keep track of our trading for tax purposes? A spreadsheet, buddy. A spreadsheet. It's the best way that I could, the best advice I give you. Otherwise, get a consultant who you're sending all of your trade information to let them deal with it. Because that's actually why I stopped trading, because like I got like a dozen, more than anything. It wasn't just the losses. It was the fact that if I did start to make gains, I realized I was going to be paying most of it out in the capital taxes, right? How's it going, Human Tripod? Now, this article that I just shared, obviously it's interesting, right? Because we see that, again, the third largest bank in the entire world, MUFG, along with Standard Charter, who's also massive, and Mitsubishi Corporation, and the Bank of Iodu, you know, whatever this is here, Krungsri, right? So these four corporations carrying out this pilot back on May 18th, you're like, huh, I wonder whatever came of that, right? Did it go good? Did it go bad? Well, I found this other article that is listed literally a week later, you know, on May 21st of 2018. And this one comes out saying Japan's biggest bank to switch to blockchain payments in 2020. So this is old news, but it's gold news for us getting close to 2020, right? Japan's biggest bank has co-developed a new blockchain or distributed financial ledger to boost the speed and lower the cost of payments. Now, obviously, what they're talking about is Mitsubishi MUFG, or MUFG, decide that they're going to start creating their own walled garden, right? So they are making a walled garden digital asset that can perform two 1 million transactions per second with latency of less than 2 seconds. Sounds scary, right? But then you realize, oh yeah, it's just another walled garden. It's just their personal, their private transfer system that's going to connect up. How's it going to connect to the rest of the world? Well, I mean, if you trust their announcement on their website a week before, they're going to connect that central bank distributed currency or digital currency right up to RippleNet, which means they're going to use XRP, XRapid, right? It's beautiful. Beautiful stuff going on. And this also discusses the fact that, you know, this trend has been attracting big names like JP Morgan, who didn't release their coin for a full year after. Walmart, who is another interesting tie that we found that somebody's pointed out recently. I forget who. I think it was Sam I Am. But somebody pointed out that MoneyGram, the partnership with MoneyGram was no accident, because MoneyGram had just recently signed up to work with Walmart on their WorldPay app, right? Anybody remember that nonsense going on back a while ago? Well, because MoneyGram is now officially going to be using XRapid, that means that Walmart MoneyGram partnership's likely going to have XRP mixed in that mix as well. So that's pretty exciting stuff there. But that, you know, this article doesn't go into any more detail about that, but just the fact that it mentions it makes me remember I was seeing that yesterday or the day before. So, in a statement, the CEO of MUFG said, "For years, the financial industry has sought to utilize blockchain to secure and hasten transaction processing and lower associated costs." He goes on to say that it supports significantly greater volumes of high-speed payment transactions without compromising the level of security required to combat fraudulent transactions. So awesome, awesome stuff. And awesome shout out to all 62 of you currently tuned in right now. Thank you so much for coming in and enjoying Sunday news stream. You know, I know we don't have a lot. I know I'm going over some older stuff, but you know, it's good stuff to keep in the forefront of your mind. You know, a lot of people are going to be out there attacking us because we're talking about a lot of the smaller financial institutions that are coming on board, right? But just remember, we got some big names out there that are fans of Ripple's products as well, right? JPM or MUFG, huge. Literally the third largest bank in the entire world. Massive, massive, massive. There is a link between RIA and XRP, and that RIA is intending to utilize XRapid. Well, RippleNet. I don't know that we've got confirmation on XRapid being utilized by RIA yet, but there's so many amazing connections, Gotcha Potato, that it's like, it's really hard to find some way within the financial system, within like just 2 degrees of separation even, that Ripple's not connected though. And that's good, because that to me says that, you know, they're doing exactly what, you know, they've already largely achieved exactly what they want, and that's to have, if not be partnered with somebody, to be partnered with somebody's partner, so that they're going to go through Ripple's services no matter what, right? So what we're seeing with Swift now going on to R3's Cordo settler platform, that's huge. Humongous, right? Walmart, Martian law. I think you're stretching it there, because you're turning the you're keeping Mar straight, but then you're reversing the wall to make law, right? So I don't know. I don't know there, XRP Jr. I think you're flipping scripts a little bit too much there. Oh, I do love me a good conspiracy every now and then, though, right? They are entertaining. I was doing a little bit of research in the Bearable Guy. Oh, excuse me, my sinuses are all stuffed up this morning. Just got out of the shower, that's why. It's also why I'm wearing a beanie, because I know some people are like, why is this guy in Texas wearing a beanie? It's because I wear it to dry my hair, so that when I take it off, my hair is not like a mess. Because I got really curly hair otherwise. But yeah, so we had a pretty ugly sell-off last night. I won't paint it any other way, right? But the good thing, you know, the thing that I like to preach, right? When it comes to whenever we have a sell-off, look at that. We still set a higher low, right? Now, granted, I'm saying we just set a higher low, and any time where we're at right now could literally just dump through, and well, you know, we're going down into the bowels of hell. But I think we're good. it looks good. You know, we once again tested our RSI at the lower ranges here. Let's move this up. Everybody can see this now. Oh no, you can't. I need to fix the bottom of my screen. All right, let me drag this up. Come on, stop staying locked, you stupid thing. I really hate Windows. I need to. Is there a way to disable the auto lock actually? Because that's really annoying. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh well, frickin' Windows being dumb. Alright, come on. I don't want that. I want to show people the frickin' bottom of my chart. Stop shrinking it all off. Sorry about this, everyone. There we go. Okay. The struggle was real. Alright, so there you have it. Now we're looking at the, obviously we're looking at the RSI down here, and we see that previously on the 27th here, we went below the 30, right? Now, this low that we got here bounced off the 30 instead of going below it. And so what that's telling me is that we're going to see, as long as this trend doesn't reverse right here and it continues, you know, we set a lower or a higher low on our RSI and we start to climb, you know, this looks good to me. This looks positive, that we're going to see the price come back up. And it feels like we're oversold, right? So anybody that's interested in like, hey Jade, when should I buy? Well, not a financial advisor, but if I had a few bones, I'd be throwing it in today, just because we're so low. And if the price plummets, you know, back to 39 cents, you know, what are you losing? You're losing from here. You're losing, you know, about 3 to potentially 5% of whatever you put in, right? But let's be real about what you're potentially gaining if you're putting in here. Just off of our short-term move, right? Our short-term move, you'll be getting 6 to 13% gains from this range if you are buying at this range, right? So that's why I always again, I'm not a financial advisor, but whenever anybody is interested in getting involved in this thing, this digital asset thing, any kind of market, whenever the price is down, I always like to be like, hey, now's the time to buy because the price is down today. So buy now before it goes back up, and then you buy it, you try FOMOing in when the price goes up. No. Buy it while it's low if you're confident in the thing. If you're not confident, don't invest and don't listen to me. I'm just some rando, right? But, you know, if you've done your research and you believe in this asset, now's the time to be buying. 40 cents is the new 30. You are correct. No doubt, Carl. 40 cents is the new 30. You know, it seemed like we lived at 30 cents for so long, and now we're seeing it, you know, playing the 40 cents the same way it did in 30, and I feel that same way about it, right? It's funny because I feel exactly the same way about it at 40 cents as I did at it at 33. And it's like, oh, we're just going to be here forever. We're going to be here forever, right? Did you see Altcoin Daily's video about XRP will never be? Yes, I did. XRP Junior. Sorry about the dogs. I think somebody just got here. But yes, I did see Altcoin Daily's video, and that really disappointed me, honestly. It was... I don't understand why people are trying to pretend that Ripple's not going to be adopted by the banks when the banks are adopting it now, as we're talking right now, right? They're FOMOing into Ripple right now. It's happening, right? Like, I don't know what more people want. In a few years' time, the FOMO newbies will be watching TA about XRP holding 1,000. Then 2,000. Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's why I'm not too worried about talking about the big dollar prices that we're going to see once the metaphorical switch is flipped and banks get in, right? Because I'm not worried about that price. That price is not the price where I'm going to be getting rich at. It's a price where I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be really happy when we hit that price, but I'm not going to be retirement happy when we hit the $10 or $20 or $50 or whatever double-digit figure we hit in this coming bull run. That's not where I'm looking at. I mean, I have some profits I'm going to take there, and I'm going to take a week, you know, a few weeks vacation and then live off of the rest for like a year while I wait for the market to come back. But we're not done. They're going to the moon and then Mars, right? That's why I'm the XRP Martian, because I'm telling y'all, we're going to be going to Mars, not the moon, all right? Y'all need to set your sights a little bit further. That's my opinion, though. That's my opinion. Not financial advice, obviously, right? I just gotta iterate that since I'm being very, very assertive with my beliefs out here. Everybody needs to understand this is just my belief, right? So, AMAs, in a few years' time, the FOMO newbie... Oh, I already read that one. SBI, all up in there. No doubt, Passionate Rick. I'm really excited to see what happens when SBI goes live this month, or in July, rather, because there's rumors that... I haven't seen the tweet directly from Yoshitaka Kitao, but Yoshitaka Kitao has said, apparently, that when he flips the switch on with SBI, it'll go to $10. So that's like, what? Well... If that's going to happen, then why is it not going up right now? What is wrong with these people? Are they really that ignorant that they don't understand how much money these financial institutions actually carry? Right? I don't know. I don't get it. They will, Mike, but there'll be memes, much like all the people who were saying that Bitcoin wouldn't go to 10,000 in 2017 were memes. They were only memes for about a month and a half. And the second that XRP, or Bitcoin rather, crashed back below 10K, they're right back and they're making fun of everybody. And they're acting as if Bitcoin didn't even hit 10K. Like, see? Told you, if it ever hit it, it's going back to zero. It's going to zero now. It's going to $1,200. $1,200 Bitcoin in 2017. Yeah, right. Ugh. Man, you gotta love naysayers though. They will never achieve the kind of success that somebody who's like saying, that could happen. Maybe it happens. I'm not gonna pretend that it's not gonna happen. Why would I set myself up for that failure? I'm gonna set myself up for success by believing in success. There's a really common one of my favorite trends, or one of my favorite patterns in wealthy, successful people who have become successful for themselves, not daddy giving them their money. No, they went out and made their hard-earned money. Those people, do you know what they all have in common? They're all die-hard optimists. None of them for a moment believed that they could fail. They didn't entertain it even, right? When there was something bad going on, they said, okay, there's a solution, and I just gotta find it. They didn't sit there and say, oh, it's not happening. I just gotta go to zero. It's going to zero. Nobody gonna use it. Nobody gonna use it. No, you're dumb. Stop being dumb. Stop being a naysayer. Stop being a pessimist. Be a realist. Look at the problems they're facing. Are those insurmountable problems? No. Then they can be overcome. And if there's a team dedicated to working on those problems, they're gonna overcome it. And Ripple is a pretty dedicated team, right? That's part of the reason why I'm behind them, because I invest in people, not in ideas, right? That's why I'm investing in XRP, not Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is an idea, but there's no real people behind it that are actually making world change. They're just a bunch of anarchists in it for themselves. Ripple is actively working with people outside of their own circle of benefit when they're working with these banks, because they've created a system that is inclusive and beneficial to somebody other than themselves. Bitcoin is not one of those systems. That's why XRP will win, in my opinion, right? Again, all my opinions. That was a fake tweet, David. I wouldn't doubt it, but at the same time, I wouldn't doubt that we're going to see something pretty monumental come regardless when SBI Virtual Currencies does launch. I think that it will hit all-time highs from it. Maybe not 10, but it will hit all-time highs easily from it, just because of the utility. It's going the extra demand, not utility. The extra demand from the institutions will cause the price to go back to relatively near all-time highs. When is MoneyGram Cracker going live with XRP? Nobody knows yet. XRP Junior, we've heard July, and July is a date for a lot of groups. SBI Virtual Currencies is supposed to release in July. We're supposed to get backed launching in July. We're supposed to get Ledger X is physically backed, Ledger X is physically backed exchange coming in July. So I can assume that MoneyGram, they're looking to do the same thing, but they haven't given us an exact date with MoneyGram. I don't even think they've said July for MoneyGram. I'm just assuming, because that seems to be where most of these other physical custodial services and utility services that are adopting XRP are coming into play. How big is RIA? RIA is pretty big. I think they're I think they're like one of the top 10 largest money transfer services. They're definitely one of the top 10. I just don't know how high up on that top 10 tar. I think they're top 5, but I don't know. You could Google it, and it's RIA. RIA. Remittance International, or yeah, I don't know. It's RIA. It's an acronym too. I think it's Remittance International something Association, maybe. Did the globalists behind this digital currency movement? I mean, dude. Oh, the globalists are. I mean, the globalists are behind Bitcoin because the inventor of Bitcoin was technically a globalist. He wanted to create a currency that the whole world would use. That's a globalist, right? He's not a libertarian. I mean, he might be libertarian in his ideology, like many of us are, but his libertarian ideology is a global ideology. So therefore, it's globalism. It's globalist. You know, it might not be globalism, you know, in the traditional political use of the term, but you know, I mean, technically, I'm a globalist because technically everybody in this chat who has money in XRP, you are proving with your very own money right now that you're a globalist. I don't care if you're in here for making yourself rich or not. You're supporting a globalist agenda by investing in a globalist project. So let's not split hairs and, you know, pretend that we're not something that we are right now, right? That's why I joke. That I don't really joke when I say it, but that's why I constantly say that, you know, we are the new world elite. We're the new world order because we're investing in the new world order, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to sugarcoat that, right? It's just what we're doing. At least based upon most of our beliefs and opinions, based upon what's going on in the world of finance, right? Who knows if it's all a big illusion? Maybe it's a big smokescreen. Maybe none of what we've been covering is real. Maybe Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple, they're just spending millions of dollars to create a massive illusion which incorporates the most powerful world leaders and previous historical leaders of all time, all a part of this great scam, right? Which sounds more conspiratorial, that all the world's powers are involved in scamming the people who have the least amount of money to scam from, or that we're actually moving towards a new world order and all these groups are actually meaning what they're saying when they're talking about this new system being rolled out, right? Which is actually more conspiratorial. I don't know. Sorry, I hit the mic. But, you know, it's interesting how people are reacting to what's going on with Ripple. Really interesting. How's it going, Spanish Fly? How you doing today? Matty Moons. Ripple did say they can get clients on board and connected in within days to weeks. Yes, they did. But I think that's for each Matt, I think that's for each corridor, not like a financial institution as a whole, right? Because each institution has thousands, you know, MoneyGram, for example, has 22,000 corridors, right? That's kind of crazy when you think about how large that is. But that's why, you know, even if it takes days to bring a corridor online, you know, a day to bring a corridor online, you know, it could still take years to get all 20,000 on, right? So we'll see what happens, though. We'll see how that all works out. I'm curious to see what happens. And that's why I kind of think there's going to be a switch flip too, more than anything, because if that's how it was, if it was literally them by day for corridors on, then it would take forever, right? But if it's, you know, them turning on the entirety of a financial institution in a day, then why haven't we seen MoneyGram already on, right? Since it's not on, that must mean that either they are doing the slow route, so it's going to take literally forever for this all to come online, or they're going to do the switch flip, and that means that nothing is going to happen in price until they're ready for something to happen, and when something happens, it's going to be huge, right? So it's like, you know, that's why I'm expecting both to happen, right? I'm expecting the price to go flat, so I'm not disappointed that it's not going to go to $1,000 overnight. But I'm also expecting there's going to be a switch flipped so that I'm not going to be selling myself short when the price finally does start to move, right? I'm entertaining both until one becomes a reality and the other therefore is not a reality, right? We'll see which one it plays out. Mike's KM, this community is so small. I see the same profiles in every live stream. Exactly, Mike's. Exactly. We are such a small, tiny community, everyone. And that's why, like it's so important for everybody to realize that, no, there's not that many people out there that have the kind of XRP that most of us, the regulars especially, sorry, I keep hitting my mic, but the regulars in the XRP community, the kind of XRP we have, we are a very, very select group. And if you think that the powers that be are afraid of letting a few thousand of us do really well, you know, you haven't paid attention to the previous bull runs in this space, right? There are probably a million millionaires who are millionaires because of crypto, because of the previous bull runs that have happened, right? What's a few thousand? What's 10,000 or a few 100,000 more millionaires in the next bull run that's going to make all the current millionaire and billionaires, you know, deca 100 millionaires or multi-billionaires now because of them becoming involved in this new revolution, right? You got to look at the bigger picture, those of you out there that are being conspiratorial, thinking that some world power doesn't want new people to rise to power, right? Like, fresh new blood is a fantastic thing in all systems because it's competition, and competition invokes advancement and progress, and advancement and progress invokes a better quality of life for everybody, the elites and the lessers, right? The rest, lessers. I'm already talking like an elite, calling people lessers for not being a part of our new world order, but you know. The volume, though, just looking at this, the volume's still doing good. You know, we did see a bit of a volume dump up here, back up at the 42-cent range, and I think that's why we saw our sell-off here, because the volume thinned out so much. But we've fallen back into pretty good volume down here. So again, there's plenty of signs that where we're at is it's bottoming right now, right? We'll see what happens in the long term. XRP Junior, dude, I am pretty sure Brad Garlinghouse is a high-ranking Freemason. He has been recruiting to push this agenda. I mean, maybe. Who knows? He's from Kansas, dude. I mean, he's from BFE, Kansas. He's not deeply connected. Come on. Come on. No, like he says, I mean, we have video of Brad straight up calling what's going on, the transition into a new world order. So, I mean, maybe he is a Freemason, you know? Maybe we're all going to be inducted into the Freemason cult once XRP goes to the moon, right? Sam I Am is our cult leader. You know, I do wonder that sometimes. I'm like, you know, sometimes I find myself just like too wrapped up in what Sam's saying, and I wonder, you know, am I falling into a cult? Am I starting to believe a cult? I like our cult, though. There's a lot of cool people out here. Art Bricker, you are making up nonsense. Oh, due to regulatory laws. Yeah, exactly. Regulation was an issue for so long, but you know, Art Bricker, you're bringing up a point of contention that's not been a point of contention for 3 days now because of the G20. Actually, for longer. It's no longer been a point of contention since really just before Libra launched, because the G20 came to its conclusion back on like the 23rd or so. I did a video the other day that we actually got confirmation from the G20 that regulations were going to be put on the space. And then the G20 came out saying the digital economy is going to be regulated as a level playing field. The digital economy is digital assets. To anybody that doesn't believe that, you know, sell your bags right now and get out. You don't belong here. You don't understand what's going on, and you don't understand how to pay attention to, you know, the subtleties of business jargon and why business jargon is used in the first place, as opposed to somebody just coming out and saying, right, hey, we're using XRP. The fuck world do people live in that they think that was going to happen? Like, there's some delusional people out there that thought that Trump was actually going to come out and say XRP or Ripple. Like, what? What world do you live in that you think that the world powers who are transitioning to a new monetary system are going to tell the people, the masses, where they're putting the value before they put the value there? What? No. 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 It will never happen. I'm sorry, right? Like, I'd love for it to. Quen Nyon, I definitely butchered your name, but thank you so much for the 229 euros. I think that's euros, right? But thank you so much for the donation. When will MoneyGram use XRP? We do not know yet. We are waiting for them to integrate their systems, right? So we don't have a date yet, but it's definitely coming. Definitely coming. How can you say that for sure? Say what for sure? The switch, or what I was saying about regulation, because regulatory clarity is I watch G20. That's how I know regulatory clarity is here now, right? I watch the G20. I pay attention to world leaders. That's how I know what I'm saying, because I'm not saying it, they said it, you know. And I've followed them long enough to know how they use business jargon, because I've listened to enough of the interviews over the last few years to listen to them as they started inserting these new terms, and they explained over the months and years during these interviews what they meant by those terms. You just have to find the video where they talked about the meaning behind that word that they're using. Digital economy, data free flow with trust, DFFT, right? What does that mean? Well, if you go back and watch the SNB research conference that I did, there's a whole panel, or a whole 15-minute segment dedicated to them talking about what DFFT is. And that it's technically just distributed ledgers, right? It's technically just the DLT is what a DFFT is. But people don't go and research this stuff, and so they sit around and call me a conspiratorial, or call anybody that's doing their research conspiratorial. And it's like, no, Sam I am, you know, people like we might joke and say he's a cult leader, but you know, a lot of us follow Sam because he's brilliant, he's on top of his stuff, and he's very poignant about being like, hey, I misinterpreted this thing, you know, sorry, I didn't know, this is just what I thought based upon the evidence that we had, and I'm wrong. And he does that, and that's so respectable, and he's very open about when something is not, you know, there's no evidence saying for certainty that something's going on, right? But at the same time, people still call him conspiratorial, even for the things that it's like, no, he's straight up showing you the evidence for. And they do the same thing to me, so it's like, you know, we'll get that. But you know, it's like who was it? Jeff Bezos, or no, not Jeff Bezos. Steve Jobs. You know, Steve Jobs famously said in an interview, or in a presentation, you know, that you need to love the crazy ones, because it's the crazy ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world who do. Because if you're not crazy enough to think you can change the world to begin with, you're never going to change anything. You have to be crazy enough to think you can do that first. And that is a degree of craziness, right? Like, I admit fully well that my dream to change the world is crazy. But it doesn't mean that it can't happen. It just means that it's a crazy idea. But tons of crazy ideas come to fruition in the world every single day, right? Some are good, some are bad. Heaven Beatbox. BG isn't a Freemason. It's precisely the reason Brad was initially approached, because he wasn't already corrupted politically, and Ripple needed a CEO they could trust to deliver their mission. Yeah, that, I mean, could most definitely be the case, right? I don't know. Trump constantly saying level playing field, and he did this groups of reporters after the G20. Yeah, I don't understand why people don't understand, like, why people can't do their research to figure out what these individuals mean when they use these terms, right? It's not like there's not video evidence out there that shows them talking about these terms they're talking about in a greater context, so you can actually understand what the level playing field is, right? Christine Lagarde, there's an interview with Christine Lagarde even that I did as well, that I did a video breakdown as well, that, you know, she talks about the level playing field and makes it clear that the level playing field is about international payments, international money transfers being done through something other than the US dollar standard, global reserve, as the global reserve. That's the issue. That's why it's not a level playing field, because there is one nation who has its currency as a global reserve and none of the other countries are, and that causes infighting amongst the possessor of the global reserve, the United States, and everybody else, because there are inherent unfair privileges or responsibilities, rather, that fall upon each group. You know, just because the U.S. has the dollar as its standard reserve doesn't mean that, you know, it's suddenly that it's going to get all the benefits. It actually gets a lot of negative detractors for having the dollar as the global reserve currency. Primary among them is controlling inflation and ensuring that value stays within the nation, right? That's why America has experienced a flight of prosperity over the last 20 years. USD has the Triffin's dilemma. Yeah. By and large. And that the Triffin's dilemma is what is consuming the global economy, right? Because as the dollar gains more power, more value, it's going to be used more, and that's going to be more detrimental to the emerging markets. You know, the emerging, you know, like the Argentinian dollar, whatever it is, the peso, if they have a peso or whatever it is. You know, it's that notion that if the U.S. dollar keeps strengthening, that it's going to weaken everything else. And so you need a mediator, a bridge to play in between those currencies, so that the Triffin's dilemma is no longer at play in the visible market, right, within the visible economy. Quayen just bought another bag of XRP. Sounds great, dude. Welcome. I'm hoping we see this thing rise up so you can enjoy some immediate short-term gains, right? How's it going, Osama? Been a while, brother. How you doing today? Carl Bauman, if partnership is kicking in July, still do not create any price action, should we begin rethinking this utility theory? I wouldn't, Carl, and that's why I constantly say, you know, whether XRP goes flat into 2020 or it moonshots into 2020, I'm in XRP for the long haul, personally. Now, what you personally do with your investment, Carl, you know, that's up to you. But I personally believe in Ripple's long-term future plan. I think that shy of World War III or a meteor impact or literally like the end of humanity, of civilization as we know it for some other reason, this is going to happen. Like there are very, very, very few things that I can see happening in the world at this point that are going to derail Ripple from its current roadmap of becoming the global reserve at some point in the future. I don't know how long that's going to take. I can't say. Nobody can. Nobody has a crystal ball. But I feel a very high degree of certainty, a very high degree of confidence that this is going to happen, right? Now, again, I don't know what's going to happen next week, next month, next year that could derail Ripple and maybe send this whole thing out the window. It's going to float out the window. You know, it's a dream, pipe dream that just goes out in a puff of smoke, right? Who knows? That might happen. And I'm hoping that I can be objective enough in my bringing to you of the news over the next few months, years, or whatever, that if such a black swan event does occur, you'll hear it from me first. And you'll hear me say, okay, guys, this is serious, right? This is a serious issue we have to address. Sort of like I did with Libra, right? When I was saying, okay, in 2020, when Libra comes out, you know, there's going to be a real threat. You know, now whether that threat is going to actually impact Ripple's business model and thus undermine the potential value that we could see come into RippleNet, that's unknowable, right? Because we don't know who's going to partner with Libra yet. We don't know who could have partnered with Ripple that is going to go to Libra instead. We don't know that yet, so we can't guess at those things. All that we can do is say that there is this event coming in the future in 2020, and this future event in 2020 could have an impact on XRP's price that could be detrimental. But that's a year out, right? And that's something I'm entertaining as an XRP maximalist today, even though it's a year out. Because that way, when a year comes and XRP or Libra coin launches, you know, we're gonna, those of us in the Martian community, we're gonna be so up to snuff with what's going on with Libra coin that we're not gonna get touched by it. Hold on a second. Yeah. Hold on a second here. Oh, thank you. All right, cool. But yeah, so the idea is that we just have to approach this as objectively as we can. And holy guys, 128 people are on. Thank you so much to all 128 of you tuning in. This is crazy, actually. I think this is the most I've ever had online at once. 130 now. Holy crap. Thank you all for tuning in. I didn't even realize that we got way over 100 now. I was excited last night that we had 100 even. Like we were like 106 or so. Now we're at 130, 132 today. Thank you all for tuning in. If you are enjoying us talking just crypto, XRP, going over TA, be sure to hit that like for me. It helps with the YouTube algorithms, you know. It doesn't make me feel good. It makes YouTube feel good. I swear I'm not trying to beg for your handouts, you know. I just want the likes, just the likes. Let's see here. Ellie, AKL, hey man, I'm new to this stuff. Do you mind me asking you how many XRP coins you currently own? Ellie, I do kind of actually mind you or anybody asking me how much XRP I own. I don't believe in like talking about how much I have. What I will say is that I have enough that I feel confident in my holdings for the long term, right? That said, I could definitely use more XRP for the short term. You know, I won't reject short-term XRP, but for the long haul, I've got enough XRP. I'm not worried about where I will be at in 2030, right? By 2025 even, I think I'll probably be happy, but I could always use more. Yeah, it's like money, you know, you never have enough, and that's the kind of the fault of it, right? That's why it corrupts us. It's power, you know. There's no such thing as enough power. You always want more. Even if you rule the world, you're like, no, I want to rule Mars too. I want to be president of the world and Mars. I don't care that there are 3 people on Mars. I'm gonna be their president. Right? So, XRP one drop. Oh yeah. So that is something interesting too, right? XRP hodler is that there's more satoshis in a Bitcoin than drops in a XRP, which means that technically speaking, you can hold more value in a Bitcoin than you can in an XRP before things start to get weird, right? Because at $10,000 per XRP, exactly what Passionate Rick says, 1 penny then becomes a drop. That said, pennies are kind of useless. Pennies don't really serve a point, right? So we could go to $100,000 XRP, and that would still be efficient for facilitating global liquidity. I mean, I don't see a $10,000 XRP is kind of hard to see in general, right? So, nice musician. Oh hell yeah, played drums and guitar. Awesome, dude. My younger brother plays both drum and guitar as well. He started on the guitar and then transitioned over to drums. He also does vocals. Pretty talented young man. Stable coins are for Facebook and JP Morgan's, not XRP. Yeah, the stable coins are for consumers more than anything, right? Stable coins are for the average Joe who's just coming into, you know, who needs a stable currency, not something that's going to fluctuate in value. XRP, I don't see it. You know, maybe if they do hyperinflate it, right? Maybe they hyperinflate the value of XRP up to 10,000, and then it would become stable, right? The price would become stable because it'd be really hard to plummet it, right? What was that? XRP 18. Antichrists is in it for themselves. Amen, bro. You nailed it. Who is that in response to? I don't think I said anything in regards to that. Somebody else? I mean, you know, when you think, if from a non-religious point of view, you know, it's just egotist. The devil in theology is the ego, is your ego, our ego, my ego, your ego, everybody's ego, right? That is the devil, and that devil, you know, ego leads to pride, it leads to envy, it leads to greed, it leads to sloth, lust, gluttony, you know, all of them. Everything boils down to your ego, you know, your sense of you, the thing that says I am me. The voice in my head, that's me. Yep, totally me. It's not you. It's just some neurons firing, putting words in your head that make you think that it's you. You're the thing observing those words. But we'll stay off philosophy and psychology because I know that some people out there don't enjoy that when I get into that. So we'll stick on to the XRP price here, which we're gonna I'm gonna zoom in on a smaller time frame because it's kind of boring watching it. Doesn't we're not seeing anything because it's kind of doing these like small little motions here, right? This looks good actually. This looks promising. If we actually, it looks like we're building support here, so we could potentially see our price, brought up right up to here even, right? When is the Netflix, are you talking about the altcoin movie? The Netflix drop? Crash Monkeys, great video, brother. Thank you so much, dude. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you to all 134 of you tuning into my stream. Seriously, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everybody giving me their time. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, To everybody else, everybody that's in the XRP community, welcome home. To everybody that's not in XRP, what are you doing here? I'm just kidding. Get your XRP today. Not a financial advisor, but seriously, like if you don't have XRP and you're in my chat, what are you doing with your life? Are you just here to troll me? Is that why you're here? Or maybe you're just here to record little snippets so that you can make memes about me because I say some crazy stuff. And I think people enjoy that almost as much as they enjoy me covering the news, right? Lead guitar, I'm not really big on the bass. I actually, XRP Junior, I prefer bass, even though I play an acoustic, play. Yeah, so, but like I prefer bass. Maybe it's just because it's simpler, 4 strings versus 6. That, and I'm better at rhythms than I am at melodies. Ralph, here's a crazy story. An Aussie tourist was held by a gang the moment he checked into the hotel in Thailand. They knew he owned crypto before he arrived. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. But yeah, that's why there's a lot of reasons to not talk about what you own, and like to Ralph's point, that's actually why I never intend to carry my XRP with me when I travel. Whenever I get enough money from crypto to travel, I'm gonna take a cash position out or an XRP position out, and I'm gonna leave my ledger with the majority at home or in a bank, wherever, so that when I leave, in a bank vault rather, so that nobody can even hold me up. Be like, yeah, cool, you held me up, but I don't have access to my keys. So good job, dummy. Good job. Now we're gonna sit here and I'm gonna look like a smart ass to you because you're gonna kill me to ruin your own life and get nothing out of it. Nothing. Go for it. I don't care. I made peace with my demons and am ready to pass on from this world long ago. That's kind of a beautiful thing about being crazy, I guess, is that because I'm crazy, nobody can use my own life as a threat against me, right? What do we got? If XRP went to 100,000, it would probably drop dead. Yeah, right? I definitely would drop dead of a heart attack, XRP Junior. I don't think that's possible. I was joking when I said that, just so we're clear, right? I don't really think that it's going to 100,000. 10,000, maybe. Maybe 10,000 in like a decade. Maybe in a decade we'll see $10,000 XRP. Memorize your seed phrase. Why would I do that? Then I have a physically stored memory that whenever they develop the mind reading software, whenever they develop the mind reading software, though, guys, I won't be able to keep my phrases safe in my head because they're gonna read my mind, right? So I better just keep it on a piece of paper and not commit anything to memory. Lock it in a safety box, in a lockbox. Digital asset investor was a financial advisor, should say. Yeah, that's what he has said. Here's the thing. I really love digital asset investor, but I don't know what he looks like. He doesn't make himself publicly visible or known. We don't know his real name or anything, so I don't know that I even trust that he was. He is very informed, right? So it's not me saying that I don't think he is because he's shown some kind of evidence that he's not, as much as I just don't know that he is because I have no evidence to it. But that said, he's a very insightful and knowledgeable gentleman, and I love listening to him because I always learn so much listening to DAI. But at the same time, you know, like he says, he's not a financial advisor today, and that's what's most important. You know, it's more so, you know, we tell people that we're not financial advisors more so not because we're like trying to cover our own butts, you know, if just in case you invest in this thing and it goes to zero because you listen to us, but because we are not allowed, you're not allowed to give other people financial advice. That's you know, that's a no-no. You could get in legal trouble if you're trying to do that. So you gotta cover your own rear in that regard, right? But yeah, he says that he's not anymore, exactly. And that's, you know, so he's not lying. You know, no, either way, even if he wasn't one in the past, you know, he says that he's not, so he's not lying. You know, and he's knowledgeable enough that, you know, even if he's not, you know, he could have fooled me, right? Because he seems pretty knowledgeable, even if he's not actually an expert in that field. But I think that he's at least some degree, right? XRP to open XRP exclusively at launch to 4 million Japanese brokerage accounts. Really? Let's see. When is this from? Because I see that that's from Ripple Labs. Ripple Insights. Oh, this is posted back in January of 2018, so 2 years ago. Well, over a year ago now, year and a half ago. Well, we know that Bitcoin is on this list now, though. So it's not exclusive anymore. We know that, and I think Ethereum's on that list too. You have to keep in mind that this is an old article, that we've gotten updates since then, Heaven Beatbox. But I mean, it will be the primary, I believe. It will be the primary asset everybody's going into when SBI VC releases. So, still exciting, absolutely. What's happening with XRP in July that's got everybody excited? SBI virtual currency XRP, boss. And not only that, but we have X Ledger backed, and is that all right now? Yeah, X Ledger and backed also releasing in July their physical custodial services for crypto, Bitcoin and XRP and Ethereum included. Yeah, it'll be big. It should be big. It should be. I don't know. I mean, I've been so pessimistic because things just aren't happening for us. You know, I've been waiting for over a year now. Things aren't happening, so I'm kind of just like, you know, maybe something will happen. Maybe it won't. I'd love to see something happen. I really would. You know, I mean, been waiting for over a year for something big to happen with XRP. So if we get it, if SBI's launch in July is that big thing and it happens on the 7th, then everything that I've heard, I've been hearing 7/7 overdone. I don't know if that's official, but July 7th seems to be the date that's been floating around. We'll see. Oh, no doubt, Sergeant. It's definitely Sergeant of Marines. It's definitely a big thing, right? It's just, I don't know. I'm pessimistic just because, like I said, I've been here so long, and we've had so many big things that were supposed to happen that have just been delayed, right? So I'm not saying that it's going to be delayed again. I'm just saying that, you know, let's take each day as it comes, and we'll be hopeful. I'm hopeful that it is launching, but I just want everybody to, like, you know, stay grounded and expect that, you know, things aren't going to go perfectly. There might be another delay. Who knows? Who knows? No one really knows, right? Until that day comes to pass and that switch is flipped, it's not flipped yet, right? Tomorrow never comes. There's only today. Yesterday will never come back, right? There's only today. So, what you call crazy, I just called being a leader. I consider myself a leader, not a follower, LOL. I mean, I largely agree with that same sentiment, XRP Jr. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people are out here. But something fun to keep in mind, though, XRP Jr., to be a good leader, and this is something I didn't really understand when I was younger, but to be a good leader, you must first be a good follower. Because to be a good leader, you must understand what it is that men follow, right? And the only way you'll ever understand what men follow is to become a follower yourself, to find things in others to follow, right? That's why mentors are so powerful for a lot of people, because a mentor can really help ground somebody and portray to somebody a mindset or a vision of themselves where they see themselves going, right? It's really important stuff. And it's really transformative when you find somebody like that to fulfill that role for you. But yeah, Yoshitaka Katao is chomping at the bit. I bet he is, dude. I mean, you know, he's got 10% stake in XRP, so I mean, he's obviously got a lot of belief in its future, right? It's promising stuff. I can't wait to see what happens with it. Under 40 cents again. What are you waiting for, buddy? We're at that 40 cent right now, right? Not gonna lie, dude. I think this is about to springboard. It's playing like it's gonna springboard. We set a higher low here, and now we're setting a real higher low at 40.2. I think we're gonna springboard. We're basically recreating this guy right here. Look at that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Michael Meter, it was the best time of my life. I'm just trying to find my path now in my new chapter in life. Had some losses, but I want to have some gains. I hear it, dude. I think a lot of us feel that way too. I mean, like I said, I've been here since 2017, so most of my time in crypto has been in a bear market. And I think that's probably why I'm so, like, cautious right now, more than anything. Because I just, you know, this is my first full cycle that I'm experiencing. So I'm just waiting for absolute confirmation that XRP is going into this new cycle before I really just start going crazy on y'all. Because I want to be like, oh, guys, we're going to $50,000 tomorrow. I want to be able to be like that. But, you know, until I have some degree of confidence that the price is just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up on the daily, then, you know, I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to be the person that FOMOs somebody into something that's going to cost them money, right? I don't want anybody to lose money because I'm out here being overly hyped about something. I mean, I definitely get that way with good news, but, you know, that's why I try and avoid talking about price whenever that kind of good news comes through. To further his channel, yeah, I agree. XRP Junior, that's by and large, you're almost absolutely right as far as DAI. It's just, you know, it's the internet. You can never trust anything until, you know, you have evidence for it, right? I think that's why so many people believe that the world is flat, because they refuse to trust actual evidence that they didn't produce with their own eyes, right? But we'll avoid that, because I know there's a community out there. Sergeant of Marines, no more losses for anyone in this stream, because all of us either win or we learn. That's a good point, Michael Metzner. You know, the reality is you never lose unless you admit failure or you accept failure, right? What turned me on to XRP originally? Justin Darner, do you think XRP has been working with the U.S. and other countries in the background? Absolutely. They're not even in the background about Justin Darner. I've broken down videos of XRP working with the banks and leaders of other countries, right? Like, and they're the only one doing it. So, absolutely, XRP has been working behind the scenes. And what turned me on to XRP to begin with was them working behind the scenes with all the most powerful people in the world, right? I was a Bitcoin, literal Bitcoin maximalist, like only held Bitcoin, didn't hold any altcoins back in April of 2018, and in combination with the Bitcoin news starting to talk about how centralized its mining was by China, 70% of its mining is controlled by a communist nation that at any point can seize the means of production and take total control of the Bitcoin network, yeah, that was kind of scary for me to realize and have to actually like accept as an actuality, right? And then, you know, that combined with us hearing about Western Union and MoneyGram and Bank of America and PNC and all these major, huge financial organizations starting to talk about XRP and about testing it and about their excitement over XRapid and everything. It's like, okay, I need to stop being an ideologue and start really researching the space. And so I started doing my research into XRP. You know, I started researching XRP really heavily in June of 2018. And it took until August before I was so disheartened by what was going on with Bitcoin, while at the same time excited by what was going on with XRP, for me to actually, you know, to scale out of Bitcoin into XRP at the end of July, early August. Love your videos. What is your price prediction for XRP end of this year and for end of 2020? All right, so see, if we're just taking it, we're assuming we're staying in the bull trend. We're not just gonna go flat. CS or Savage. I think, I don't know how to pronounce, which way you want that said, but thank you for the appreciation. And as far as where I think XRP is going the end of this year, I see us being at all-time highs, right? So over $4. As far as end of next year, it's hard to say, but maybe in the 50. I think next year we will see $50. In 2020, XRP will see double-digit prices. So $50 somewhere, you know, give or take $20, right? And if things go really promisingly this year, so that if we hit $10 this year, then maybe I'd start saying, you know, if we hit $10 before the end of this year, then by 2020, I'd be like, 2020 we're going to see $100, right? But for now, I'm saying all-time high end of this year, and then double digits next year. And that's, you know, it's just a guess though. Nobody knows really. Let's see. Gabriel, SBI will launch by 2077. Hey, you know, go. I will go away, Gabrielle, when people on YouTube stop looking for XRP content, because while I'm sitting here covering this content, there are so many people tuning in. Enough of you. This is what blows my mind, and this is why I got to thank you, all 133 of you are there in here again, because only because of all of you out there watching me right now am I able to put the time that I do into studying this now. My whole life now is getting to study XRP and Ripple, and I love it, and it's only because of you guys out there. So thank you so much to everybody that tunes in regularly to all my content. Thank you to everybody who hits that like button and does the things that help me get my algorithms pumped up, because seriously, there's a lot of you who I know have been following me literally since basically the beginning, and I'm so grateful that all of you people have helped me to make this into a livelihood for myself. So, and that's why I do it, you know. And when there are people out there that try and accuse those of us in the XRP space of being paid by Ripple, no, YouTube's paying me, right? There are some really crazy, awesome people in our community that have donated money to me, but they're not donating me a living salary, right? The people who donate to me, I'm beyond thankful for everybody, but at the same time, you know, those donations that you see coming in, most of us in the streaming community, you know, I'm making more off of my ad revenue than I do from donations. So I can say the same thing is absolutely certain for someone like Digital or DAI, Alex, you know, Aiden Trading, CKJ, all of them. Everybody that's making content on YouTube with more than 1,000 subscribers, they're making more money almost guaranteed from the viewership, you tuning in and dealing with the 5-second ad, right? You tuning into my content is what allows me to do this. Nothing else. So I'm so grateful to all of you. Thank you. Seriously. It really means the world. And thank you so much, Spartacus. Okay, Spartacus Maximus, thank you so much for subbing, brother. And absolutely, you know, we just gotta tune out the trolls. That's all you can do, right? As far as JXRP, why do you say 10? $10 would equal a $1 trillion market cap, which I think is perfectly achievable for Ripple. Easily, or XRP. That's not even, actually it's not even a trillion, is it? It's less than, because we have a price of 40 cents, so at 200, okay, so $10 is literally the same market cap as Bitcoin right now, right? If we had Bitcoin's market cap, XRP would be about $5 actually. It'd be at $400 billion, XRP will be $10. $400 billion market cap. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's half the market cap of Bitcoin right now, right? That's nothing. $10? It's a joke. Anybody out there that thinks $10 is out of this world? You need to start fudding on $11,000 Bitcoin, because guys, this isn't realistic. Bitcoin shouldn't be over 10,000. I remember in 2017, people told me every friggin' day that Bitcoin could never go to $10,000. That is mathematically impossible. You can't get a Bitcoin over 10,000. Motherfucker, it's at 10,000 again. Right now. Right? It's done the impossible twice now for those people in 2017, you know? Are you one of those people from 2017 and 2019 saying the same thing about what's going on with the market right now? Don't be one of those people. Those people get wrecked. Those people get wrecked bad. I'm not going to be one of those people. I mean, I was one of those people when it came to the price going down. I kept saying, oh, you know, I'm not worried because of dollar cost averaging in. I'm like, you know what? The price, it's going to go flat. It's going to stay flat, and then we're going to go up. You know, it's just going to flatten out. Thankfully, I got into XRP in, you know, right before its run up in September. So after that, I got a nice little gain. But then once this guy is one of the CKJ scammer mods. I was never a who are we talking about? Anyway, but yeah, like, I don't know, people just need to keep in mind that, you know, what somebody calls impossible is, most people that say that a dollar value price being reached by these cryptos is impossible, those people don't understand how much money there is in the world, nor do they understand what some of these projects are actually doing, right? Yeah, don't be the pizza guy. Don't be that guy that gives up, you know, $60 million for pizza. Yo, Thomas G, keep it up, my favorite Martian. You're one sharp cookie. Hodl and have a happy 4th. God bless America and our XRP community. Amen, Thomas. Thank you so much for your donation, brother. And no doubt, you have a great 4th too. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you before then too, right? But yeah, I think this is the year. 2019 is the year of mass adoption, right? It's at least when the switch is being flipped on, and we're gonna start see the value start coming in. JXRP, Brad is the king. He is a genius. Brad's definitely brilliant, no doubt. But I definitely put a lot more credit in David Schwartz. Like, I put a lot more not credit. If Brad Garlinghouse was to leave Ripple, I'd be scared. But if David Schwartz was to leave Ripple, I'd probably sell my XRP, right? That's the difference in how I view the two, right? Like, I'd be scared if Brad left, but I'd be out if David left, right? I don't think that guy realized Spanish Fly is a mother of two, huh? I don't know. I don't know. I know that a lot of y'all talk about, I know that a lot of y'all are from CKJ's stream or that have joined him, but I don't really care, you know? Everybody's entitled to follow and hang out with whoever they choose to see fit, right? I mean, I've tried to warn people about CKJ, but, you know, if people want to believe that he's not that person that he showed himself to me to be, then that's their choice. I'm just here to share what I believe to be the truth, you know? Oh, is that who? Yeah, I mean, you know, so what? Who cares if somebody, you know, like there's all kinds. There's, you know, drama's drama and drama's pathetic. Drama is so human. Why do you humans do this drama thing? Yeah, Brad is a great salesman, and that's why I'm not really so. But that's why I'm way more attached to David than Brad, because I've met Brads before. I know at least a handful of people that are Brad. They're Brad Garlinghouse, right? That are like Brad. That same mentality, the same energy, same vibes. You know, the same degree of intelligence. But David is one of those people who's so intelligent, it's kind of scary, right? Like when I listen to David talk, and he just oozes intelligence. He's scary smart, and I love that because that gives me so much confidence in them because of how scary smart the man is. Ainlof, what is your exit strategy with XRP? My exit strategy is to go to the grave, holding as much as I can, so that my kids can have a nice, you know, a nice stack to retire on in their 50s and 60s when I die, right? Because hopefully I'll be living that long. Hopefully I'll be seeing my kids that long. David is an alien. You know, maybe David is the alien. David actually kind of like looks a fair bit like my dad. I was like watching one of his interviews, and I was like, that's kind of disturbing how much like my dad he looks. Maybe it's just because he wasn't even talking about anything that like my dad would either. My dad's like a mechanical engineer. Well, a mechanic. He is an engineer, just not a degreed engineer. I've watched the man build windmills and like from scratch, just like from parts from a junkyard. He took from a junkyard, built a freaking functioning windmill. The dude's, I love him. My dad's so brilliant. David Marcus from Libra Facecoin, a smart salesman as well, just like Brad. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like good salesmen are a dime a dozen. You know, you just have to be people smart, but to be technically smart, you know, to be not technically smart. What would the term be that I'm looking for? To have a technical brilliance that David does, that's unique. That's like, you know, 1 in 100,000 kind of minds that you find somebody like David, and that's why he's so exciting to me. That's why it's so exciting to have found him. I'm really convinced that he is. You know, if I had to guess anybody in the community, if Satoshi Nakamoto is literally one person and not a group, it's David Schwartz. Like, that just seems so obvious to me, it's almost painful, right? But because nobody else in the space seems to emphasize the same character that Satoshi did, you know, back before he disappeared. Will you do, by the way, you are tagging me like that with the... What? I know in my own person and a good person, a lot of people like to pass judgment. I don't know someone. No one has ever seen me do anything or anyone, so it doesn't bother me. I don't know what's going on, Spanish Fly. I apologize if somebody's actually coming at you. Talking about people being angry. Okay, I see from... Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's whatever. XRP Jr., I don't think we really need to be talking about that, you know what I mean? Like, it's whatever. If he's innocent, he'll continue to have his channel because nothing's going to happen to him. If he's not innocent, his channel's going to stop creating content, right? So, you know, let time be the dictator, right? If CKJ is still making content in like 3 months, you know, I'll probably be like, well, damn, we were probably wrong, and I need to go apologize to CKJ. But, you know, I'm pretty I saw enough evidence that I'm just waiting to see what happens, right? So David Schwartz is my favorite player in the Ripple team. Chris Larson has a lot of presence. Brad is super smart as a CEO, though. Yeah, they have an all-star team, Ralph. Like, it's a real all-star team, right? And that's what's crazy cool about it, too, right? Because, like, with Google, you know, you had Sergey Brin. Brin Sergey. Is that what it is? Brin Sergey. That's why I'm goofing it up. And then, you know, with Facebook, you have Mark Zuckerberg. Then you got Ripple. Brad, Chris, David, Arthur Brito, like Jeb McCaleb was one of the original developers, and despite his seemingly less than honest character, you know, he's still a brilliant man. He's still stupid smart. I mean, why do you think IBM picked up his, you know, his freaking branched project? Brilliant man. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. You know, the brilliant thing about that, Michael Metzner, is that everybody does it. Everybody casts that stone. That's why. That's part of the whole sin thing. You know. Yeah, exactly. Nobody is, you know, judge, jury. Nobody has absolute, you know, knowledge when it comes to what's going on. So that's why I put out my opinion, and that's what it is. It remains that until, you know, some evidence comes out to show that it's purely opinion. Then I'll be like, hey, that was an opinion with no evidence. Apparently, it was only conjecture. JXRP, Google plus IBM plus Apple plus Amazon equals XRP, baby. Hell yes, dude. Absolutely. Do you think Bitcoin will survive if XRP takes the lead? No. I think that if XRP takes the lead, it's going to be a real bad day for Bitcoin, right? I think that would cause like a flippening even, right? We'll see what happens with that, but I think that it'll be, I mean, it won't go to zero, right, Justin? I don't think it's going to zero when XRP flips it, but it's gonna take a big hit from wherever it's at. The Bible tells it. Well, there's a lot of things contained in the text that, you know, in all texts. I'm not just going to point out the one that you're referring to, XRP Junior, but all holy texts contain dogma. That's part of religion, and that's part of what makes a religion as opposed to scientific theory, because there's dogmas. There's a lot of dogma in science too, and that's how you find out which theories are kind of bunk versus which ones are actually probably more legitimate, you know, even though most of society seems to think that the bunk ones are the real ones. That's always interesting. The Bible does not call for the murder of game? What? A pro-slavery document. I mean, yeah, that's true as well, Michael Metzner. It does call for that. Stone those who would lay with men as they lay with their women, as you lay with your women. And which is funny, you know, because if you're without sin, how are you gonna cast that stone, right? How do you cast that stone? Because you're obviously with sin, because every human's with sin, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter if that's wrong. So why would the Bible say, go stone this guy for this sin, but still at the same time say, he who is without sin, cast the first stone? Well, nobody's with sin, so why even tell them to cast the stones in the first place? Right? Just another example of dogma. Just one that y'all put up forth for me, right? This is why I don't entertain these things. I take lesson. You know, religion, your faith is meant for you to take lessons away from it, not to take it as absolute. Because every faith was written by a man. I don't care if that man was inspired by God or not. You know, it was still a man that wrote it. And it wasn't even a woman, right? So it's not even me being misogynistic saying that a man wrote it. No, we know a man wrote the Bible, the Quran, you know, the Torah. So what if they're inspired? You know, I could be inspired by God, and half the stuff that comes out my mouth might be inspired by God. Doesn't mean that it's any less egotistical for someone to claim that, oh, because that opinion comes from God, it's suddenly infallible. No, because that opinion was formed in my head, which is a fallible thing. So even if God did put that message there, I probably interpreted it wrong. In that case, right? That's why I don't. It's just silly. It's silly. God would never condone murder. Yeah, I mean, realistically, why would God condone murdering himself if you want to look at it from that stance, right? But you know, let's stick to the price here. We're getting this. The chat's getting way off topic here, and I'd rather us stick back to our points here, right? Stick to the topic here. Oh, and since it's actually been a little while, okay, guys. Michael and XRP, whichever one of you is the bigger man, just stop engaging with the other on this topic. How about that, guys? Let's focus on some things that we can actually have a real conversation about, other than just a debate. Because that's all that you guys are going to do. You're just going to debate back and forth all day about this. Why bother? You know, there's no reason to engage with the guys. We all have our different views, our different opinions, and nobody will ever agree with yours. That's why they're taboo to talk about. Yeah, 40 cent indeed, right? It's right there. 40.1, right? 40.1. But let's see what the overall market's doing here. Market cap's down a fair bit. We just came down, I think that was like 6 billion? Because I think it was at 33.2, wasn't it? 33 something. But for those who weren't in earlier, I'll go back, because people don't deem to have the mind of their own and don't know there is more of the story than what was told, but I'm not here to discuss that. Hey, don't even engage with them, Spanish Fly. I get it totally, and you know, everybody is entitled. What you have to understand, Spanish Fly, is everybody's entitled to their own opinions at the end of the day, and you know, you just have to learn to accept that. Learn that not everybody's going to agree with you on really anything ever. We all agree on XRP, so let's just talk about XRP, right? Most of us agree on XRP. There's a few trolls in here for the XRP community, but you know, let's stick to the topic that we all know, that we all can agree on, right? And while I definitely agree that, you know, we all need to learn from each other, you know, there's some topics that people just can't learn from each other on. You have to learn for yourself. You know, I could sit here and tell you everything that I've learned spiritually throughout my life, but it's not going to help you, because it's not your spiritual growth, it's mine. You know, you have to go experience your own spiritual growth. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can explain it to you. It'll never happen that way. You have to go pursue it. Hey, you know, we're all freaked to our own ideals, whatever those are. We each have them. I know I have mine. I just acknowledge them as such. But what we did cover earlier is that, you know, we have this awesome little snippet coming from Mitsubishi Group from last year, that after they tested after they tested RippleNet service back on May 14th, 2018, just a week later, on May 21st of 2018, we got an announcement from MUFG that they intend to utilize blockchain for cross-border and internal revenue services, which means that the third largest financial organization in the world is going to be on RippleNet. Come on in, as Brad kind of says, right? How long before regulations come? Kenneth McDaniel, regulations are here today. They're all being scribbled out as rapidly as they can by the governments of the world now that the G20 has concluded what's going on. Aiden, dude, thank you so much for the 2 bones. How did your stream go last night? I saw that, you're getting so much love for that giveaway. That was awesome, dude. And congratulations to everybody that's in the stream that was part of Aiden's giveaway last night. Congrats to anybody that won that. That was really cool. I'm surprised you got as few people as you did for that giveaway too, because like your night before you had like almost 300 people at one point. I'm really kind of surprised. You should have had like a way better turnout. My opinion, you know. It's kind of late. That might have been what it was. I really do think July 5th, August 1st, everything will be changed. Yeah, I think that it's, you know, I really feel that something is coming, but I don't know how big, and I don't want to get people's hopes up, you know? This is why I'm always saying end of the year, guys, you know? I could be another one of the hype machines. It's like, oh, guys, June or July 7th when SBI goes live, you know, I could, but I just don't know. You know, I'd love for it to. We just don't know. Not until it happens. We'll see. If we wake up on July 10th and, you know, price is over $10, you know, I'm going to come on here and be like, how's it going, New World Order? Right? Who's out here helping me take over this place? Feed the hungry. Let's do it. That's the first goal. Get food in everybody's belly. And then we'll worry about houses. Food first. Well, water first, then food. You know, you got to get the basics out of the way. The price is being held down so that it is a bargain until all things are in place. I by and large agree. XR Precision. I by and large agree with that statement. Hi Martian. So more or less 1 year from today, there's 2020 Tokyo Olympics. I know nobody is an oracle about XRP price predictions, but do you have any idea for that time period? So yeah, like I've already talked a little bit, Okan, a little bit about that. I think that by the end of this year, you know, by December 31st, 2019, we'll probably see all-time highs for XRP, so somewhere over $4. And then, you know, by 2020 for the Olympics, you know, we'll probably see $10 XRP. We'll see double digits though. Double digits is where I expect us to be in 2020. I don't know if we might be able to reach double digits by the end of this year, but I'm more so interested in seeing double digits in 2020. And that will be like, that'll be confirmation enough to me that XRP is really here to stay and it's going to take over. If we do that, you know, I might start to get worried in 2020 if the price is still like around like, you know, the $5 to $10 range by the end of 2020. But we'll see what happens, you know. That's what I'd like to see though. That's where my mindset's at, where I'm seeing us going. Darren, so what's the point of it being on top? In a way, Libra and BTC might have a tug of war in terms of having the spotlight. I mean, there's no real point to it being on top other than it'll just be on top because it has the most liquid value to it, because it's serving the largest liquid market in the world, the cross-border remittance market, right? So that's really why XRP will eventually rise up. But I was listening to Crypto Oak, I think it was, and shout out to Crypto Oak if you're not familiar with him. Go sub to him. He's actually a pretty cool guy. He's got, you know, we definitely have very differing opinions on a lot of things, but that's important. It's actually important for you to be getting multiple opinions about the space, right? Actually, no, Heaven Beatbox. I was a part of the 2017 bull run. I just got into it late. I got in 2017 bull run in August. Was it? Yeah, August, September 2017. So I experienced the end of the bull run, but not the beginning. So I didn't get to retire, right? But yeah, that's why I have such this lovely setup here, so you don't get to see my my wealthy home, right? The wealthy residence that I live in. It is very obvious that I have billions of dollars when I take this curtain down. It's fantastic. Yeah, I like Crypto Oak too. Like I've definitely debated the ever-loving hell out of Crypto Oak on some of his videos and commented on a lot of his videos in the past. But I like him. You know, I wouldn't keep going back to his comments and content if I didn't like him. He's funny. I love when he talks about his ducks too, because it's just like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I enjoy learning more about the people in our community outside of their interest for XRP, because, you know, many of us are going to probably become like real life friends because we're going to have We're going to have so much money that we can't keep our own friends because all they want is us to be around us for our money. And they can't enjoy being around us because they don't have the money to go enjoy the things that we with money will want to go do, right? So 589 by the end of year. That would be fantastic. Oh my goodness, Ron, I would die. I would be so happy. I'm in it for a 10-year gain. Probably take a small percentage each year to cover fortune or future investments. XRP Hustler, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see things go up to the moon overnight, but you know, until it happens, I'm just holding my bags. It is. It absolutely is. I mean, I don't like the Bible either, XRP Jr. I was raised fundamental Christian. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean I can't quote it to hell and back. Like, I probably know the Bible a lot better than most people who consider themselves devout. Because I literally read the Bible as a 7-year-old. Read it cover to cover as a 7-year-old boy. And I still remember most of the verses because that's just how my memory works. You know, it's just how I operate. Obviously, I don't remember every single passage. Like, I'm not saying I remember the entire thing. But I remember, like, thousands of verses that I could pull. And I understand the context of most things when I actually talk about Bible too. So, but I don't like it. You know, by and large, I don't like any holy tome because they're all covered in disgusting human fallacies. They're just full of it, littered with it, and it drives me absolutely bonkers that anybody would ever assume such a thing could be written by a perfect being. Because a perfect being would not make the mistakes that are made in not just the Bible. Right? It's in the Quran. They're in the Torah. They're in Hindu texts too. Right? And what the heck is it called? I can't think of their tome. It's spacing. I'm dead sober this morning and I can't remember. See, maybe I need to go get elevated so that I can get my memory back. Dang it. Damn being a burnout. This is why you don't do substances, children, because it ruins your memory. At least your short-term working memory. That's where my biggest mistakes are now. It sucks. It's kind of fun though. It makes me feel a little more normal. Again, we're not going to get on that. But Martian, dope, but trust me when I tell you this won't be like last time. Love your channel. I agree with most of what you say. Just hold my predictions in your head for a few weeks later. Hey, dude, don't worry. Like I said, if I see the price going to some crazier or some crazy points, right, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to be excited. But I won't be surprised, right? Like, I really do expect some big things to happen. I'm just not going to sit here and use this channel, my channel, as like a place to broadcast something like that could drive somebody to put more than they can afford to into this market, right? That's really what I want to protect against more than anything, having Beatbox, is that I don't want somebody to be donating more than they can right now. I mean, I have XRP Martian, that's why I don't, or XRP Junior rather, Marcia. That's why I don't entertain any of them, because I've read so many holy tomes, and I've followed all the strings back, and I understand where many ideals come from, many religious ideologies. I actually understand the actual historical narrative of them, the historical significance of the stories. So no, I understand, brother. Like, there's a reason why I don't ascribe to any one faith and I'm part of like a world religion. You know, I don't ascribe to anyone's religion because they're all BS. Every religion is a form of control, but that's my opinion. You're entitled to yours. Believe what you will. Believe whoever you will. But don't expect me as an adult, as a free-thinking individual, to ascribe to yours just because you believe it, right? We're all unique-minded individuals, and we have to respect each other, right? I respect that you choose to believe what you choose to believe, and that I understand why you feel this burden to enlighten me, a sinner, based upon your perspective, right? But here's the thing. Based upon my perspective, you're a sinner who's believing in the false god too, because you're believing in an ideologue. You're believing in a golden statue, the symbolism of divinity, not true divinity, based upon my perspective, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're going to hell for it, or that you deserve damnation or anything, or that you should repent so you don't, because that's not who I am. I'm not here to push my beliefs on you, right? Yeah, religion is taught, spirituality is observed. That's so true, Heaven Beatbox. You're absolutely right, right? And that's why religion is a form of control. You know, everybody can say I'm wrong about whatever book they want, because, you know, it's funny because the only people out here criticizing are the Christians right now. I've multiple times in this stream called out the Quran and the Torah. I don't see any Jews or Islams out here trying to like come at me saying, you don't understand my book, just because I disagree, right? So let's be real about who's going after people right now. Again, I'm saying you're entitled to your belief, just as I'm entitled to mine. So stop acting like you're going like you're on some moral high ground, because neither of us know, dude. Neither of us know. So stop acting like you know just because you were raised on a book and that's the only book you want to read, right? Maybe you are a Christian that went out and read the Torah. Maybe you're a Christian that went out and read the Quran, but I really highly doubt it. Because after I read my second tome, my second religious book, that's when I stopped calling myself a Christian and started calling myself spiritual, because I realized the overlaps are a little too fishy to try and say that one's right while the other isn't, right? Like, but that's my perspective that I've formed, and I'm not trying to say that you should be doing whatever you want. Yeah, let's change the subject back to XRP, because, you know, again, people are out here trying to shove their religion down our throats, and I'm basically shoving my own because I'm trying to address such people. So let's not do either. Let's actually rise above this silliness and talk about ZERPs, which is still on this sideways trek, right? Like, come on, ZERP, get your shit together. I want to be rich today, not wait 5 years. So let's even this out. Okay, so we did just test off of what was this previous low here on that candle. So maybe that'll bottom out there. That'd be really nice. That'd be a good thing to see. Yep. So I'm going to focus on comments that are outside of this so that hopefully you can drag a conversation to something. Oh, NG Crypto, it will open your eyes, but it'll also close your mind. David Luckett, come on now. Guys, give me some questions about XRP. XRP is real, just bought some today. Hell yeah, Jimmy. It's the best stuff, right? No one really, it's really gonna change the world. It is kind of a religion, you know? I mean, crypto, whatever crypto you're in, money is a religion in many regards. That's, you know, it goes back to where do you see power coming from, you know? So absolutely, money is a religion. XRP therefore is a religion of its own. It's a sect of the money religion, right? What do you think about all the new XRP millionaires? I think that many of us are going to come together and we're going to change the world for the better, because that's why I'm creating this YouTube channel, so that I can brainwash all you XRP investors out there to take all of your XRP and give it all to charity, right? But no, like, I don't expect everybody to give up everything, obviously. I'm not going to give up all my funds, but I do hope that many of us will be kind-hearted enough to avoid making the same mistakes of the wealthy and affluent the powerful people who came before us, the ones who rule right now. I hope that, you know, there's enough of us out there in the space that are coming from despot poverty that, you know, we can come together with what funds that we are going to have collectively to make a real change, you know? That's really what I love more than anything. If I can achieve that with this channel, I can die happy, right? That's really my biggest life goal, I guess, right now, is to inspire people to inspire others, inspire people to do better by the rest of the world, and not for whatever reason other than just to know that other people are going to do better because of you. A prophecy about 2030, they want digital currencies fully integrated. Yeah, digital currencies will probably be absolutely fully integrated by 2025 even, because that's the UN plan, is for this to be fully implemented by 2025. The Fed is looking into Ripple. Did they come to a conclusion? I'd say so. But we don't have any direct word from the Fed discussing Ripple specifically yet, XRP Messiah. So it's hard, you know, I won't say anything yet on that, but it looks promising. It does look promising. You will get taxed no matter what. Yeah, probably. Most likely. Mike, the level playing field is here. It's crazy. Every XRP channel I go in always has religious tones to conversation. I find it interesting because I think many put faith behind this investment, but I say, look, yeah, I mean, I've talked, and I think that's why it keeps coming up, is because we're talking about a one world currency essentially with this, and that has a lot of significance in a lot of world religions, right? It's not just Christianity. One world religion or one world currency is a thing in a lot of faiths, like a lot. And it seems to stem back to, there seems to have been a point in human history where a global currency was issued. And I think that's where it comes from more than anything. Because a lot of the stories, the prophecies of holy text are actually historical accounts. And we consider them prophecies because they're historical accounts of reoccurring trends. You know, humans have amnesia. You know, every few generations, we forget what the last few generations did, and so we repeat the same mistakes over. And so that's why we call these things prophecy, because we're a bunch of stupid monkeys that keep making the same mistake over and over, and we think that because we make the same mistake that when it happens again, oh, this guy predicted it. No, you just talk about it happening the last time, and you're just a dumb monkey that did the same thing because you didn't listen to the lesson to be told, right? If I lose my money, will the government give me 50% of what I put in it? Probably not, Mike. Probably not. But if you lose your money, you know, at least you can claim it as a loss, capital loss on your taxes, right? Okay, hopefully they will raise these limits when the wealth created. Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, it's hard to say what we're gonna get. They wouldn't have the cash to pay for what? I missed something. Oh, okay. Let's assume XRP is suddenly $1,000. The question is, how would you cash it out without the current exchanges? Are they stupid withdrawal limits? So, Okan, really, what you're waiting for? Well, you're not going to cash out dramatically, right? You have to go and verify your account. You want to cash out? Go tell them who you are, so you can take out as much as you want. You're gonna have to pay taxes on it, dude. I mean, the only way you're avoiding taxes in crypto is if you're thinking about holding these things for 20 years, not trading, not exchanging them once, just holding them for 20 years until governments disappear, right? And that's a big bet. Betting that the governments are going to sink because they will no longer be able to sustain their spending habits because they no longer have access to the sovereignty of their own nation's currency, right? Assuming that trek plays out over the next 20 years, hey, you know, play that long ball. See if you can get away with not paying taxes for 20 years. You think you're going to get away with it, though, before they come after you? Like, how many of those 20 years do you think you'll spend in jail if you think you're going to avoid paying your taxes, right? Come on, guys. I'd love nothing more than to keep all my profits, not pay a penny to the government, but I'm gonna have to pay my taxes. It's just an inevitability. Realistically, I'll probably be donating most of my money though, so that the government doesn't get to touch any money. Because to hell if I'm putting To hell if I'm spending 30% of what I'm making on the military-industrial complex, all right? I won't be doing that. I'll be giving it all to charities that are actually going to some good stuff, as opposed to funding this garbage that our governments put all of our money towards. The Fed will disappear, David Luckett. Yeah, I think so. I think all central monetary authorities are on the slow track to extinction, right? That's my opinion. If you own property in Puerto Rico, you won't pay taxes. Interesting. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to escape the taxes, to be honest. You know, there's all kinds of ways that you can get away from it. It's just not easy if you don't have a lot of money already, right? You have to have a fair bit of money already to it's not just about being smart, Gabrielle, whichever it is. You have to have money too, because you have to have, you know, for example, you have to have the money to go buy the property in Puerto Rico to change yourself to a citizen of Puerto Rico, right? So yeah, if you're in like Ireland, you know, it's probably a lot easier to avoid the taxation than if you're an American, you know, versus if you're like, you know, from Cuba or again Puerto Rico, you know. Everything's different depending on where you're at in the world. Americans will, yeah, and I'm actually giving up my citizenship, Chris Lingham. I intend to give up my American citizenship as soon as I become wealthy. As soon as I'm affluent, I'm going to become a citizen of the world, because to hell with being a sheep anymore to a nation. I've remained a sheep to a national ideology most of my life, even though I realize that it's a sheep to be such. So hopefully soon I can shed that wool cloak and be a real shepherd or a real wolf, whichever I become. I don't know. I'd like to be a shepherd, but I'll probably be a wolf. I think that's how a lot of people work, you know. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna be a good person when I get money. I'm gonna be that person that does everything right. But you know, I think a lot of people think that. Most people, the mass majority, won't. Hopefully I can be one of the ones that do. Be an exception to the rule. That's my hope, but you know. The human psyche is a terribly complex thing. Where am I going to live? S. Spencer, I'm going to live in the world. I'm like, what is the term for it? I guess it'd be like a travel philiac, right? Like somebody who's just obsessed with traveling. I want to see every single corner of this planet before I go traveling to Mars, right? Why? I want American citizenship. Can get married, divorce, and then pay $1 million. Yeah. There's a number of reasons to avoid being a citizen to a nation and being a nomad, right? Like, there's a lot of benefits to being a citizen to a nation, but when you're rich, there's a lot more benefits to not being a citizen of a nation, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's all tomes. That's all religions. But, again, we don't want to talk about that. But, yeah. Wow, we're still at almost 100 people in the stream. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Thank you so much for everybody tuning into the live stream. How long have I been going now? Nearly 2 hours, so probably going to wrap this up here in another 10 minutes. Let's see if we can, what's going on here in the price. Continue to answer a few more people's questions that you all throw at me, but probably gonna be getting out of here on the top of the hour, actually. So another 10 minutes or so. If anybody has any last minute questions that they haven't shot out to me, you know, crypto related preferably. I know that we've been on topics outside that range. I know that irritates some people, but yo, buddy, you showed your face. Hell yeah, XRPist. Where you been? You haven't been in my stream or in my videos for a while, have you, dude? I've been I've been sharing my face for like 2-3 weeks now. Love, peace, and safety to all my brothers and sisters. Let's hope good and new beginnings skyrocket XRP from this month on. Enjoy the ride. Hell yeah, David. All the positive vibes to you too, brother. Hopefully that we do get to see that, right? Aw, man. You're late. You are a late XRPist. How dare you? How dare you? But don't worry, dude. I will be doing a stream again this evening. I'll be coming back on probably in another 5 to 6 hours from now, and I'm gonna see if I can't find some more news to talk about. You know, weekends are usually slow, so that's why I do. I'm gonna start doing my live streams on the weekend with everybody. We'll probably do 2 a day on the weekends. So this is really just like where we all come in, chill, hang out, talk about the weekly events. You know, I try to talk about all the stuff that's been going on, but you know, sometimes you guys throw some stuff at me that I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about that. Do tell more, right? I had to take a digital break. I'll be here in July. Great month. No doubt, dude. I definitely get that. I had to take a break between like basically all of February. I took off from crypto because it was just so depressing being flat for so long. So like I just stopped paying attention for almost all of February. So I definitely get the need to take a step back. Hope you got re-energized. Hope you're ready for all the exciting news that you're about to see when you go back and watch my videos, dude. You gotta check out some of the stuff that's been going on XRPist. We got some crazy good news the last few weeks. HTC is making Brave browser their default browser. Really? Oh, that's huge. That's really big. I'm not gonna lie, I really love Brave. And for those of you that don't use Brave, you need to get Brave browser. And when you get Brave browser, what I want everybody to do when you get your Brave browser, and again, you know, I swear I'm not trying to shill myself, right? No, I'm totally shilling myself right now. But guys, once you get Brave browser, you know, if you come onto YouTube, like go to my channel with your Brave browser, and you click that little button, then you just go like, oh, include an auto contribute, and you can auto contribute to me as a YouTube content creator just for you watching, right? And cool thing about Brave, you don't have to deal with the ads that pop up in my videos, right? You're just, you know, what you're viewing, the Brave browser is distributing BAT tokens towards the content creators whose content you're consuming. So you're cutting out the middleman that is YouTube in that situation. So I don't have anybody that's donating to me on it yet, I don't think. I think this is just from my ad revenue from watching ads. But yeah, you guys, you can make money using Brave browser. Like I've made 12 bucks basically in the last month just from the ads that pop up whenever I'm not streaming. I have them turned off right now, so they're not popping up. But I get paid for that just for watching ads. And then when I add auto contribute on, then I get to donate to any of the content creators that I enjoy that are actually signed up with Brave. So it's win-win for everybody involved. You get to make money, and if you choose to donate to me, you get to help me make a little bit of money too from your viewership, right? So Brave is an awesome, awesome program for everybody to become involved with if you're not already. Super, super good. It's like super awesome as far as like just like making a little bit of extra cash, right? Like, yeah, I've made 12 bucks in a month. That's not a lot of money, but you know, that 30-some BAT as it matures over the next few months, maybe that $12 turns into 24 or 50. You know, and I got that just from watching ads. I didn't even actually watch them. You know, they just pop up in the corner of my browser down here, and I exit out of them. So it's super, super awesome for anybody out there that's not using Brave. How much does it cost to not watch ads? It's free, Spencer. Like when I use the Brave browser, I put up my shield. I block third-party trackers for starters, and I also block. I have my shield up, but the trackers are what avoid ads from being popped up. I believe. I believe that's what causes it. But because when you do that, you can go, like I said, into the Brave browser. I don't want to pull up mine because I don't want to expose my information out there. But yeah, you can set up your Brave browser to Martian Stone. He's getting pissed off also. Huh? Yeah, I'm a 30-year-old rebel. Yes. I'm a XRP Junior, you need to chill, bro. You need to chill. Chris, I wonder if you buy a boat and sit in international waters and you can sell out a field. Unfortunately, Chris, the way that that works is if you, as long as you're transferring into a currency that, yeah, right. That's why I use Brave though, Spencer. It sucks though because like, you know, I keep telling all the other content creators, please get on Brave so that I can actually, you know, come on and enable this auto donate to you for my attention that I give to you. But most of the content creators aren't even using it yet. I don't know why. It's weird too because if you're in crypto and you're not using Brave, and you're not promoting that, then who's going to promote that this is the way that, you know, we all get to benefit from this new blockchain ecosystem? It boggles my mind. But, you know, maybe I'll do a standalone video on Brave just for people to make it clear that, hey, go make yourself some money, and because you're going to start making money, maybe help me out and auto contribute so we both make money together, right? But yeah, like, even if you aren't going to donate to me, you know, even if you aren't going to do the auto contribute, go make yourself some extra cash, guys. Must donate smarter, teach people how to fish and use a good percentage of gains created by the principle on never touching that golden egg. That way it will last hopefully for many generations. Absolutely, Thomas G. That's you know, the dream, right? Is to get yourself a large enough nest egg built up that you never have to touch that principle once you start trading, right? Once you actually start generating profits from whatever that is, you are never actually going to borrow against it, because when you sell from that nest egg, like say you have 10,000 XRP and you sell 1,000, you're going to hold on to like maybe 500 of that 1,000 you sold to buy whenever that 500 that you sold out can afford you another 1,000 XRP from the price going back down, right? I think that's what Thomas is pointing out as far as, like, you know, the idea is that of building your nest, your golden egg without actually touching it, so that it lasts for a long time. And approximately how much does it cost to, I already touched on that. Super, I'm getting the RTX 2080 Super. RTX 2080? Is that a new video card? I haven't been following video cards for a while now, actually, so I don't know what the newest lines are. It sounds like a video card, though. Radeon? Is that a Radeon? Hey, keep up the great work. I'm hoping XRP will be successful in 5 years. I think we all do, W Crypto, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the encouragement, boss. We'll, hopefully we'll all be doing a lot better here in sooner than 5 years even, right? So Christine Kelly, you'd still need a bank account and to be KYC'd and residential address to Chris. Oh, you mean the floating on an island? Yeah, to actually get out into. But you gotta keep in mind, Christine, that there are going to be other avenues to exit into to digital asset, or from digital assets into a spendable currency outside of having a bank account, right? Because you can use Uphold, you can use OnePay, you can actually use OnePay. You just transfer your XRP to OnePay. And technically, even though it's a bank app, but you don't have to have a bank account. You just have to have that app. About to catch up on your videos, bro. I'll be back on later tonight. Sounds good, XRPist. And yeah, it's 3 o'clock now, so I'm actually going to call this a do. So to all 77 of you in the stream, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope to see all of you back in my live stream in about 5, maybe 6 hours. You know, we're going to do an evening stream, so hopefully I'll catch all of you back here then. But until then, thank you all for tuning in. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe. Also hit that like so that people can see this in the algorithms. You know, I know that we were all over the place, but hey, you know, some people enjoy watching live stream just to hear chatter. So thank you all for tuning in. As always, I've been Jade. You've been watching the XRP Martian Report. I can't wait to see all of you, as always, in our next stream on Mars, right? So have a good day, everybody. See everybody next time.